these two rearview mirrors in our car. A lot of people thought he was just there to watch for cars coming in from behind. In fact, it also hides 6 practical functions. Even many old drivers have scrapped several cars. He is not worth it. So today, Brother Leopard will come to tell his friends. As long as you can master and learn these hidden functions. Old drivers praise you for driving. The video content is relatively dry. Friends who can't remember at one time remember to like it and collect it. It is convenient to watch next time. So what about before the video starts? We need to adjust the rearview mirror first. Otherwise, there will be empty bullets in the back. When we adjust the rearview mirror, keep a good sitting position as you usually drive. Don't lean left and right to adjust. After you adjust it like this, when you drive normally, the rearview mirror is still not standard. Let's adjust the left rearview mirror first. First, adjust the distance between him and the top. Let's first divide this rearview mirror into 2 by default in our hearts. Let the distance up and down be half heaven and half earth. Okay. At this time, our position up and down will be adjusted. Is this the horizon line that goes in the middle of the rearview mirror? And you can see here. Then, let's adjust the distance between the left and right rearview mirrors. The distance between the left and right sides. Let's put the body. Adjust it so that you can see it in the rearview mirror. The body leaks out in the rearview mirror. How much is missing? Let our body occupy a quarter to a fifth in the rearview mirror. At this time, our rearview mirror is adjusted. Half the sky and half the ground. The car occupies a quarter of the rearview mirror. The rearview mirror adjusted in this way has the best view for observing the incoming cars behind. At this time, our left rearview mirror has been adjusted again. Then adjust it again. The rearview mirror on the right. The adjustment method of the rearview mirror on the right is similar to that on the left. However, it is also slightly different. In the right rearview mirror, the sky is on the 4th floor. The sky is on the 4th floor. The good body occupies a quarter of the rearview mirror. This is the best way to adjust the left and right rearview mirrors. Then our 2 rearview mirrors are adjusted at this time. Then let's explain the 6 major functions of the rearview mirror. So what about the first one first? When we need to reverse parking. When our left rearview mirror is aligned with this parking space line in front of us. We can start to turn the steering wheel to the right and drive forward. Okay, now it's aligned. We can turn the steering wheel to the right and drive forward. Keep your eyes on our left rearview mirror. Okay, and we see the garage corner of the target parking space in the left rearview mirror. When you see this corner, we can park the car. At this point, let's fill the steering wheel to the left, then reverse the car and you can easily get into position. And number 2, when we walked in the front of the car, there was a curb in front of us. Some friends can't judge the distance between the front of the car and the curb in front. It's very easy to scratch. As for some friends, in order to avoid scratching, they need to get out of the car multiple times to check. In fact, at this time, we can judge the distance from the front in the car. We can also use this rearview mirror. Let's look at this lower edge of the rearview mirror and drive forward. When we find that the lower edge of our rearview mirror is about to coincide with the lower edge of this curb, that's when we can park the car. At this time, we are about 30 centimeters away from the obstacle in front of us. The perfect parking distance. Okay, let's get off next. Take a look. How about this old iron? Is this parking distance perfect? So what if instead of a curb, there's a wall? Then the judgment method is also the same. We're all staring at the left rearview mirror when it coincides with this lower edge of the curb, or the lower edge of the wall, this joint. We can park the car. The distance is the same. Third, when we leave the house with the front of the car facing out. Many friends are not good at judging how to turn. Worried that if you are not careful, you will scratch the vehicle next to you. Then we can still use the rearview mirror. It doesn't matter if we turn left or right. We can all stare in the rearview mirror in that direction. Let's say we're going to turn right next, right? So as we move forward, when we find that the rearview mirror on our right is flush with the front or rear of the vehicle next to us, when aligned, when on a line. At this point, we can fill the direction to the right and drive forward. At this time, we will not scratch the vehicle on the right side. Let's take a look. Zoom in a little bit, right? It is still very safe to leave the warehouse. Fourth, when we reverse in parallel parking. If you find a car behind you, we'll just keep our eyes on the central rearview mirror when we can only see the front windshield of the vehicle behind us in the rearview mirror. Then let's stop. Okay, fall back. When you can only see the windshield of the car behind you. Okay, We are about 50 centimeters away from the car behind us. Parking distance is just right. Fifth, there are many friends who cannot judge the distance to the rear vehicle from the rearview mirror. Cause not to change lanes. Then we can mentally divide the rearview mirror in two. Let's take the example of the rearview mirror on the left. The outside is the danger zone. The inside is a safe zone. When you see in the left rearview mirror that the rear vehicle is outside the left rearview mirror, that must not change lanes. It is at most 5 meters away from the rear car. Then if the rear car appears on the inside of our left rearview mirror, then it is relatively safe for us to change lanes at this time. Why is it relatively safe? Because our car is not 100% safe on the road. The rear vehicle is mobile. We can only evaluate it at the current speed he is driving. We also don't know when the rear vehicles will accelerate, right? So it's relatively safe if the rear vehicle is on the left. It is more dangerous if the rear vehicle appears on the right. Let me give you a simpler example. For example, this little blue car is our car at this time. When we see the little red car behind in the rearview mirror on the left, on the inside of the left rearview mirror, that is to say, we are at a relatively safe lane change distance at this time. Then this lane change distance is relatively safe. But maybe when we want to change lanes, the little red car behind him suddenly accelerates. Then we are at risk of scratching when we change lanes. So if our car wants to change lanes, our speed must be greater than the speed of the little red car behind us. So how do we determine the speed of the car behind us? Just look at the size of the car behind us. If the car behind us is getting smaller and smaller in our rearview mirror, that means he is slowing down. If it is getting bigger and bigger in the rearview mirror, then it means he is accelerating. So if we are at the moment of changing lanes, it is the time to change lanes. We need to immediately mention a little speed lane change. If your speed is still very slow, for example, keep the original speed, then it may have a rear end collision with the rear car. Compare it like this. If we mention a little speed lane change, we pull away from the rear car at this speed difference. This way, you can avoid accidents as much as possible. The sixth is the storage function of the rearview mirror. In fact, this function is very simple and practical, but many friends don't know how to turn it on. Many vehicles do not have a separate switch for heating the rearview mirror at all. In fact, it is integrated into the defogging button of the rear windshield. We just need to turn on this rear glass defogging function. Then our rearview mirrors will not accumulate water or fog on rainy days. How about friends? Have you learned all the 6 functions of the rearview mirror shared above? If you think it is helpful to you, remember to share it with your friends who have cars around you. Make sure you have a small retweet. You can help him at a critical moment.